Hi, I'm Michael Josh, and this is Rappler.com's coverage of the 2014 Consumer Electronics Show, brought to you by SmartBro and Beyond the Box. It's day 2 of CES 2014, and I'm here at the Sony booth to go hands-on with their latest smartphone, the Xperia Z1 Compact. Okay, so this is Sony's brand new Xperia Z1 Compact, a 4.3-inch smartphone that runs Android. Now, this is the mini-me of Sony's flagship smartphone, the Xperia Z1. Actually, I have the US version right here in my hand, so it's the mini-me. But you know, one thing I like about what Sony did with the Xperia Z1 Compact is that it believes that people may want a smaller phone, but they still want the same specs as the flagship smartphone, as they call it. And so what they did is they released a phone. This flagship smartphone is 5 inches, has a 5-inch screen, but this one over here has a 4.3-inch screen, roughly the size of Apple's iPhone. And then let's just show you that comparison. It's slightly taller and slightly thicker than an iPhone, but more or less it's roughly the same size, a 4.3-inch screen. But what Sony did was it gives us this smartphone with the same specs. So there's really nothing that different between both phones, except maybe in terms of battery life or the battery that they put onto this phone. Let me just run over some specs. It runs off a 2.2 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 800 processor, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and we were talking about battery earlier. It runs off a 2,300 milliampere battery. This is a full HD triluminous display that is scratch resistant. And let me show you the camera. It comes with a 20.7 megapixel camera with G lens is what Sony calls it. They claim it's one of the best cameras in a smartphone today. Now let's talk about construction a bit. This phone has glass on both sides, so you have a glass screen up front and also here. So this is tempered glass, scratch-resistant glass, and it has a metal or aluminum unibody frame, so metal all around, and you have glass back and front. In terms of weight, it's slightly heavier than an iPhone, but one can't really notice the difference. I do like the look and feel of the device. It does feel like a premium device. You cannot remove the back plate, so it is not user replaceable. But overall, it feels very solid in your hands, and it does feel like a premium phone. This phone, now the Z1 and their predecessor, the Xperia Z, were both dust resistant and water resistant. Sony now claims that this phone is waterproof. They've secured an IP55 and IP58 rating to be able to do so. So this phone will work underwater. The screen won't work underwater. I mean, the display will turn on, but once you go, I've gone swimming with one of these phones. You won't be able to touch the display like that when you're underwater. But in terms of button placement, aside from its standard power button over here and volume rocker, it does come with a dedicated camera button over here on the bottom. And let me just show you how that works. Even if your phone's off, you press it. 1001. Oh, I didn't press it that time. Let me do it again. There, 1001. So just roughly 1 point something seconds to turn that on. Now that dedicated camera button that I was talking about will allow you to use your phone to take photos and video underwater. So you'll need that. You'll need to turn your phone on, and you can use that to snap photos while you're underwater. Speaking of water, the screen has this technology. Usually when your fingers are wet, the screen will refuse gestures, but this particular phone has a specific technology that will allow you to touch the screen even if your fingers are wet, if you just come out of the water and you want to review the photos that you took underwater. So that's a nifty feature. Now, for it to stay waterproof, most of its ports are covered. You have here the ports on the outside, all on the right-hand side of the phone. You have the power. They've removed the port cover just to put on the security feature, but you'd have the the port for the power. You have the micro SD card slot to expand the onboard memory to up to 64 gigabytes, and you have a slot over here for the micro SIM. On the bottom, you have speaker grills, which is a new design that we also saw on the flagship, the Z1. As you can see, the speaker grills are on the bottom of the phone. Sony did that because in its previous iteration of the device, the Xperia Z, the speakers were on the side, and that kind of blocked off the sound when you would hold the phone like this. And on top of the phone, you have the headphone jack. As you'll notice, there aren't any there's no port cover, but it does have some kind of membrane that will stop the water from seeping through, even if you put the phone under water. Just like the Xperia Z1, the Z1 Compact comes with 16 gigabytes of storage, and up top over there, if I can bring it closer for you to see, we have a 2 megapixel front-facing camera. The Z1 is available in 4 colors, the standard black and white, and only on the Z1, pink, hot pink, and yellow. No word on pricing and availability as of the moment. And that was our hands-on review of the Sony Xperia Z1 Compact. If you're in the Philippines and you're looking for a mobile broadband provider, why not check out SmartBro? Visit their website, smart.com.ph/bro. And if you're looking for a new gadget, check out my favorite gadget store, Beyond the Box. You can look for them on Facebook. It's facebook.com/beyondthebox.ph.